What's up, lore masters? Today we'll be taking a look at the USS Defiant, a Defiant class ship. Now, if you're looking for a technical breakdown of the Defiant class, you can click in the top right hand corner right about now. With that out of the way, let's just get into it. As we learn in school, for every action there is an opposite but equal reaction. The USS Defiant NX-74205 is the result of fucking with the Cisco. One does not fuck with the Cisco and live to tell about it. As stated, after the Borg were fucking with the Cisco would go to create the Defiant class, also known as the motherfucking pimp hand.
But Lore Reloaded, you stole that. You stole that from SF Debris, Lore Reloaded.
You're right. I did. The development of the USS Defiant began after the catastrophic losses of the Battle of Wolf 359, around 2366, or at least according to Memory Alpha. The losses at the battle proved to Starfleet that the creation of a new battle-oriented ship would be necessary. Arguably, an entire line of Starfleet ships were created to fight the Borg. This ideology is not unwise given that there were ships like the Oberth at Wolf 359. Thank God they never repeated that mistake. The Defiant class is the first warship created by Starfleet. Okay, so the first ship they admitted was a warship at least. It is designed with none of the creature comforts that are seen in previous models. And again, as I stated, for a full breakdown of the Defiant class ship, just click in the right hand corner, you'll get more information. But talking about the USS Defiant specifically, the ship underwent trials but was found far too overpowered and far too overgunned to be any use to the Federation. And even though you had entire work teams in a shipyard that could analyze and try to fix the problems, none of them had the last name of O'Brien, so figuring out what was going on, what was wrong, or fixing it would be beyond their grasp. Additionally, after only 3 years after the Battle of Wolf 359, the populace once again figured that they were safe, and so with public support of warships diminishing, the Defiant was mothballed. And thank God they would never have the Borg attack again or any other alien species that would require a warship of this type. By order of then Commander Benjamin Sisko, the USS Defiant would be reactivated and assigned to Deep Space Nine. The ship launched from the Antares shipyards on stardate 47548.5 and was used as a vessel of peace to convince the founders that the Federation was not a threat. In order to facilitate peace, Sisko thought that the best way to do that was to activate Starfleet's only warship and send it to the homeworld of the Founders, a hostile alien species. The ship was also outfitted with a Romulan cloaking device after Commander Sisko assaulted the Romulan ambassador. The ship was also outfitted with a Romulan cloaking device after a special amendment had been made to the Treaty of Algernon. This amendment would allow for the cloak, but only in the Gamma Quadrant, and would require all information on the Dominion to be shared with the Romulans. And, as we know, this would always be what the honest Starfleet officers did with it. It was never used for any other reason or any other purpose. The Defiant's first mission, which we've already discussed a little bit, would ultimately be a failure. I mean, again, surprisingly, when you send a warship to the homeworld of a hostile alien species, they don't take kindly to it. The ship was attacked by Jem'Hadar fighters, boarded, and captured. The Dominion then began to dismantle the Defiant to better understand the technology. The Dominion would download all information regarding the Defiant-class vessel and the Federation, blow the damn thing up. The Dominion wouldn't do anything to it, and the crew would ultimately be freed and the Defiant allowed to return home. Well, that was just smart of them right there. That was logical. During mid-2371, the Defiant was assigned to random tasks, which include transportation of personnel for medical treatment and for exploration. Exploration into the Gamma Quadrant. A warship would continually be sent into the Gamma Quadrant, which was considered Dominion space. Starfleet continued to send warships into Dominion space. The Defiant would also be used for rescue operations. This would include, but not be limited to, saving Major Kira Nerys once she was captured and was deep within Cardassian space. Beyond that, only 4 major events occurred in 2371 that involved the USS Defiant. This would include the commandeering of the ship by the terrorist organization known as the Maquis. Yeah, the first and only Federation warship was stolen and used to kill Cardassians. I'm sure the Romulans didn't mind a terrorist organization having their cloaking technology either. The ship was then utilized to establish communication links between the Alpha and Gamma Quadrant. The Defiant engaged in a rescue mission at the Battle of the Omarion Nebula in order to save Odo and Elim Garak, and ultimately the ship was sabotaged by a changeling and programmed to destroy a Zinkethi colony. So to really put it into perspective here, the Defiant was either captured or sabotaged. I mean, this happened twice. And then it was almost used to annihilate several outposts and colonies of two different species, both of which are interstellar powers with the ability to go to war with the United Federation of Planets. You know, I now understand why Starfleet opts to not make warships. Hey guys, special shout out to Eagle Moss who sent me a ship to help with this research. Today it's the XL version of the Defiant. Let me take a moment to say this thing is awesome. Definitively more detailed and a better version of the original Defiant ship, of which I'm a huge fan of too. Check out the description below to see how you can get one of your very own. And now, back to it. The USS Defiant saw wide use during the Klingon-Cardassian War. As the alliance between the Klingons and the Federation broke down, it was dispatched to save the Detapa Council, the current ruling body of the Cardassian Union, at least at that time. And you know, here's a fun little fact. I don't remember seeing the Defiant during the first battle of Deep Space Nine against the Klingons, but it was definitively there. I don't know, maybe I'm missing some footage, but I think it'd be interesting if the Defiant was not used during that battle, even though it was a part of the battle. On another front, Starfleet and the Federation would begin trading with the Gamma Quadrant powers, utilizing the Ferengi to work behind the back of the Dominion. When one of the species wished to discuss the trading, the Karuma, Starfleet dispatched its warship to have a conversation. So the Federation was having illegal trade with a species, creating a black market for Federation goods, and sent a warship, the USS Defiant, when it was requested by one of their trading partners to have a discussion into Dominion territory. When the Dominion forces intercepted the Defiant in their territory, again engaging in black market trade, Captain Sisko stated he would fight the Jem'Hadar ships before letting the man guilty of the black market trade turn himself in. And fight the Jem'Hadar the Defiant would, ultimately going into a gas giant as the Dominion ships attempted to destroy the Karuma ship. The Jem'Hadar would be defeated by the Defiant ultimately, and the black market trades would continue. Later, the USS Defiant would assist in helping to foil a Starfleet coup to take over the Federation. Though, before it would be able to stop the coup, the USS Defiant would have to fight the USS Lakota. Now, for a breakdown of this battle, check in the top right-hand corner, I go through it blow by blow. Both sides would see casualties, but the Defiant would be able to leave and assist in exposing Leighton. While claiming not to take sides, Starfleet began assisting Cardassian freighters for humanitarian aid during the Klingon-Cardassian War. This means that often you would see Starfleet and Klingon forces fighting each other in different combat scenarios as Starfleet attempted to defend Cardassian ships. One wonders why the Klingons would go to war with the Federation based on this. One of the notable battles would be when the USS Defiant was involved in a scandal where the Klingon Empire accused Starfleet of destroying a civilian freighter. At this time, Commander Worf was in command and would be accused of murder, but ultimately found innocent once it was discovered that it was all a setup by the Klingon Empire in an attempt to shame Starfleet into not assisting Cardassia. Because everyone knows if there's an accident that involves civilians, then you can't help any other civilians of the other side anymore and just let them and their children die. I mean, that's just logical. The Defiant would be used throughout the Klingon Federation War, including the rescue of civilians at Agilon Prime. Also, at some point during the war with the Klingons, they would capture a Jem'Hadar fighter and be able to bring it back to Starfleet Command. One of the most interesting pieces of information in the Defiant service was when Michael Eddington uploaded a virus to the Defiant and Deep Space Nine. The ship was completely disabled and had to be towed back by another ship. Again, curiously, this is probably one of the best episodes that is utilized when one questions Starfleet's dogma and its ethics. It's often lost on those debating that it was a warship that was disabled by the Maquis, and the Maquis were asking to be left alone. The Defiant would be repaired and back on the hunt for the Maquis, coming along the Malinche and assisting them in repairs. However, with the damage to the Malinche, an Excelsior-class ship, the Defiant would be the one to have to stop the Maquis by itself. This would of course be done by the Defiant firing biogenic weapons on a defenseless planet and then threatening to do it to every Maquis planet in the demilitarized zone, because Starfleet is known for its peace. Of course, all of this has just been a primer for the main events of the Defiant. The story of the USS Defiant really comes to bear in the next video, where we will be discussing the Battle of Sector 001 and the Defiant's role in the Dominion War. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.